10 insanely expensive objects ruined by morons. I mean, can you imagine if like you spent years and like millions of dollars building something, maybe it's a monument or something like that. You unveil it, you're so proud of it. Everybody's like admiring it, and then one person like drives into it and it just comes crashing down. Could you imagine how pissed you would be? I would be so annoyed. I mean, annoyed isn't even the word.
Steve Wynn was left red-faced in 2006 when he accidentally put an elbow through the multi-million-dollar canvas of Picasso's famed Dream painting.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the most shocking times a person's thoughtless, moronic, or reckless actions caused the destruction of incredibly pricey items.
The wreckage yesterday included, it's just painful to read, 8 Ferraris, 2 Mercedes-Benz, and, of course, a Lamborghini.
The Zootopia Lego statue.
This is the giant figure made of Lego of the fox character Nick from the film Zootopia.
In 2016, an artist named Mr. Chow spent 3 days building a Lego statue of the foxy Nick Wilde from Zootopia. Formed with around 10,000 bricks, it cost over $15,000 to put together. He did this for an exhibition at a shopping center in Ningbo, China. However, only an hour after the show opened, a young child got a little too excited about Nick.
Smashed to pieces after a 4-year-old boy ignored a no-touching sign.
The ropes around the artwork and the no-touching sign couldn't deter him. The kid pushed the sculpture over and caused it to smash to pieces. The kid's embarrassed father reportedly apologized to Chow. Amazingly, the artist refused compensation, stating that the youngster didn't do it on purpose.
The artist accepted it was just an accident. Just an accident? He's destroyed the thing.
Crushing.
Man, that artist, man, he has heart of gold, man. I'd have been like, dude, pay me the compensation.
A fortune. Have you ever thrown away a container and then realized later there was something inside it you shouldn't have gotten rid of? No, because you checked inside beforehand? Well, apparently it can happen. In 2000, a couple of workers at the famous auction house Sotheby's in London, England, saw a box among a collection of used packaging. So they took it to the trash compactor. However, inside the crate was an untitled painting of plants by iconic British artist Lucian Freud. As you can imagine, with the box being crushed into bits, so was the artwork. The painting was valued by Sotheby's at £100,000.
Ooh. Somebody got fired for sure.
Or around $156,800. Impressively, the two porters weren't immediately fired. Bored guard.
I suppose, yeah, it wasn't their fault. Oh, God. It looked like it was trash. Oh.
Meanwhile, in Russia, a guard at an art gallery, is getting in trouble because he wanted to be a part of the fun.
In 2021, security guard Alexander Vasilyev was working his first shift at the Boris Yeltsin Presidential Center in Yekaterinburg, Russia. Instead of admiring the artwork, Vasilyev got bored and decided to make his own.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! Oh, Jesus! God! Oh, Mary, Mother of Jesus! Jesus of Nazareth!
Spotting Anna Liporskaya's painting Three Figures, the guard drew eyes on two of the faceless characters with a ballpoint pen. The artwork, which was insured for $1.2 million, needed restoration costing around $3,400. Vasilyev attempted to get the criminal charges dropped due to stress from being a war veteran and the recent deaths of both his wife and son. However, it didn't work. In 2022, Vasilyev was sentenced to 180 hours of compulsory labor and ordered to undergo psychiatric evaluation.
God, you know what's missing on that painting?
It's like you have to get therapy.
This has been itching at me for years.
Can't take it any longer.
I'm so bored at this place.
Chateau catastrophe.
That's hilarious. You had to get psychiatric. Oh, why did you do it, Vasilyev? What made you do that?
This 18th century French chateau now looks like this after a mix-up with renovation crews.
Depending on who you ask, this instance was either a screw-up of comedic proportions or a sneaky way to help the owner build what he actually wanted. Chateau de Bellevue was a stunning property in the Bordeaux region of France that had stood since the 18th century.
Wow.
However, when its Russian millionaire owner, Dmitry Stroskin, returned to his building after a trip, he found that workers had demolished it. Reportedly, the builders were meant to knock over a small building on the estate, not the main chateau.
Insurance fraud, maybe?
The mayor of the sleepy French village surrounding the former chateau is in shock, saying it was a local treasure.
Stroskin soon announced he would rebuild the landmark as it was. However, irregularities with the permits before the renovation led to speculation the businessman did it on purpose, then lied when the outrage and investigations began. Feyenoord football.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Come on. A reputable construction company, they would demolish an entire building if they were just meant to bring down like a tiny section of it? Nah. I don't buy it.
Fountain fury.
Football violence on the streets of Rome that's prompted an outcry over damage to the city's historic monuments.
Sports fans can get rowdy, but not many of them damage a local historic landmark. In 2015, Dutch team Feyenoord played Roma in the Europa League in the Italian capital. After the 1-1 draw, the Netherlands fans, while intoxicated, went on a rampage. During the incident, some fans severely damaged the Fontana della Barcaccia, a fountain that has stood since 1629.
That's just pathetic. Like, I'm a massive football fan, massive Arsenal fan. There's nothing that would make me, just like wreck some public installation, just even if my team got battered. Like, come on. Why would you do this?
A Dutch restoration company sheepishly offered to fix the broken fountain. That damage was estimated to cost 5.2 million euros, or nearly $6.4 million.
The mayor, Ignacio Marino, took to Twitter to decry the mess created at the recently restored Barcaccia fountain. He tweets that the violence is unacceptable, saying it's not the people of Rome who should have to pay.
In 2021, 6 Feyenoord fans were found guilty for the damage they caused, earning them jail sentences between 3 and 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, why? Why did they do that?
Record cognac destruction. In July 2012, beverage maker extraordinaire Salvatore Calabrese planned to set a Guinness World Record by creating the world's most expensive cocktail at London's famous Playboy Club.
Are you all ready, guys?
Yeah. However, one guest was intrigued by Calabrese's 1788 Clos du Greffier Vieux cognac bottle and asked to hold it.
Wow, 1788. That's insane. Almost 250-year-old bottle of cognac. Can you even still drink that?
Yeah, you can probably see where this is going. The clumsy enthusiast dropped the bottle, which was worth over $77,000. This was before Calabrese could finish making the cocktail, ruining the record attempt. Because the bottle had already been opened, it wasn't insured. In October 2012, Calabrese attempted the feat again. This time, there was no calamity, as he made a drink worth around $8,820.
$8,000 for a drink? Forget it. You can just describe it to me. I'm good. $8,000?
The pretentious Vandal. In 2007, American artist Cy Twombly had his work exhibited at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Avignon, France. However, one art lover was far too enthusiastic about an all-white panel in the artist's triptych named Phaedrus, worth an estimated $2.8 million. Rindy Sam kissed it, leaving behind a lipstick smudge. Restorers quickly got to work but struggled to remove Sam's mark. During the trial, she stated she thought Twombly would understand her, quote, loving gesture.
Is she insane?
And that, quote, it was an artistic act provoked by the power of art. Sam was ordered to pay fines to the painting's owner and the gallery, and a symbolic €1 to Twombly. In 2009, an appeals court ordered Sam to also pay the €18,840 restoration cost.
Of course! Why wouldn't she? They should have given her that initially. She should have been responsible. Why didn't she have to? Of course she should pay for it to get fixed.
The supercar pileup.
But this is a pricey pileup. It's in Japan. You gotta take a look at this.
As a convoy of luxury sports cars was on its way to an event in Hiroshima in 2012, several of the drivers were more interested in showboating than getting there safely. Reportedly, some of the car owners were either speeding or not looking at the road as they showed off their prized possessions. This caused the leading driver to lose control, resulting in a crash involving 10 supercars and at least 3 other vehicles. Some of the automobiles that were crumpled beyond recognition included 8 Ferraris, a Lamborghini, and at least 1 Mercedes. Altogether, the damage was estimated to be a whopping $4 million.
Hopefully, they have insurance.
Jeez, total wreck. This is a write-off, or as you Americans call it, this is totaled. Oh my God.
In 2013, the police announced their intention to charge 10 drivers for the catastrophe. The Elbow of Doom.
Steve Wynn was left red-faced in 2006 when he accidentally put an elbow through the multi-million-dollar canvas of Picasso's famed Dream painting.
How do you
In
do
2001, Steve Wynn bought Pablo Picasso's Le Rêve for an estimated $60 million. Fast forward to 2006, the casino magnate was hanging out with famous friends when he announced he had agreed to sell Le Rêve to New York Mets owner Steve Cohen for a record-breaking $139 million.
104, that, God, $139 million? I mean, it's a nice painting, but dude, just give me a print. I'm good with a print.
However, Wynn is one of those people who talks with his hands, and while gesturing, he accidentally elbowed the artwork, creating a 6-inch tear.
Oh no. And then I said, thank God it was me and not someone else.
It took around $90,000 to repair the damage, giving the painting a new valuation of $85 million. In 2013, Cohen finally bought Le Rêve for a record $155 million. Before we continue,
so he still made a profit.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. The multi-million-dollar punch.
Take a journey now to the outskirts of Paris along the River Seine to Argenteuil. Hop aboard a sailing boat, sit back and let your eyes move slowly, taking in the scene unfolding before you.
The painting Argenteuil Basin with a single sailboat by legendary French artist Claude Monet has been on display at Dublin's National Gallery of Ireland since 1924. It's valued at 10 million euros, nearly $12.6 million.
Notice how Monet adds a line here and a dash there to give the impression of a village on the horizon.
However, on one particular day in 2012, disaster struck when Andrew Shannon visited. While looking at the painting, he lurched forward and punched a hole through it. Shannon claimed he fainted from a heart condition.
BS. I don't believe you.
However, he had an extensive criminal history and just happened to be carrying a can of paint stripper, which pointed toward the vandalism being deliberate. It took restorers 18 months to repair the damage, and 7% of the artwork was still lost. Shannon was sentenced to 5 years in jail for his senseless attack.
5 years?
What's the most expensive thing you've accidentally damaged? Let us know below.
The moment that could cost a Kansas family more than $100 grand.
Did you enjoy this video?
Man, there's just some idiots out there. Like the guy who punched that painting. Why, man? Why? Attention? Must have been attention. Cost you 5 years of your life. Ugh. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.